The RetroFighters Bluetooth Defender featured in today's review is provided courtesy of RetroFighters. When RetroFighters released the Defender for the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 6 months ago, I praised it pretty heavily. Even now, I consider it to be one of the best releases from the company yet. The only thing that I have come to feel disappointed about with it is the lack of Sixaxis support in PS3 games. A feature it wasn't intended to have, mind you, but one that was missed. But now, RetroFighters has finally begun shipping its Bluetooth versions of the Defender specifically designed for PS3 systems with included Sixaxis support. As an added bonus, the controller also functions on PS4 and PC. As with the previous Defenders for the PS1 and 2, this new Bluetooth model looks to be the perfect replacement controller for your PS3 systems. The Bluetooth Defenders come once again in a compact box with a true-to-life depiction of the controllers on the front. An additional image can be found on the side, while the back highlights all the goodies the controller is capable of. I do wish there was a bit more to differentiate the new Bluetooth models from the previous 2.4 GHz model. As of now, the system's list on the front and description on the back are the only tells. Opening the box will reveal your Defender, USB-C charging cable, and a quick start guide. Everything that made the original Defender release so good once again makes an appearance with the Bluetooth release. Textured grips? Check. Proper triggers? Check. Nice thumbsticks? Check. Pressure-sensitive face buttons and shoulder buttons? Check. Oh, and the D-pad as well. And finally, turbo and home? Check. Anti-friction rings still encircle each stick, ensuring smooth rolls during play. The overall feel of the controller also remains the same, with thumbstick tension and triggers feeling spot on for my tastes. As such, the durability of the new Bluetooth Defender is quite high. Just as a fair warning, diving into gameplay reveals that this new model of Defender is pretty boring in all the right ways. Everything that made the original so great is here in full force. Pressure sensitivity remains spot on, making the Metal Gear Solid HD collection a joy to play through. Even the D-pad pressure sensitivity is on full display with Metal Gear Solid 4. The feature works so seamlessly that I will never understand why it has always been so problematic for me on official controllers. Going back to the D-pad, it remains one of my absolute favorites of all time. Everything just works and registers as I do it, and I couldn't be happier. Thumbsticks have perfect resistance, and playing through every title has felt exact. Doing direct comparisons between the Bluetooth Defender and DualShock 3 has felt practically identical across the board. It does feel like the steppings have been adjusted for this release, with each stick's max range being achieved closer to the end of a push compared to the 2.4 GHz models. This breaks away from the traditional way Sony sticks handle, but I greatly prefer it. One area of improvement for the Bluetooth Defender is that a slight dead zone has been implemented on both triggers. This should address accidental input, but not be high enough to negatively impact any titles. It's a good trade-off, and the results in-game have been fantastic. All shoulder buttons retain their pressure sensitivity as well. Like the face buttons, each responds perfectly in supported titles. See, how boring is that? It just works so well, just like the original releases. Okay, time to talk about something a bit more exciting. Sixaxis support. Love it or hate it, the feature has become standard for Sony systems to this day, and not including it in a controller is a quick way to reduce compatibility with the overall library, as we saw with the original Defenders. With its inclusion, the Bluetooth Defender should theoretically have perfect compatibility with the full PS3 library. As far as its performance goes, it has yet to disappoint. Tilts register perfectly in games like Little Big Planet, and accelerometer actions trigger as intended. Melee attacks in Call of Duty 3, as well as clearing camo and embarrassing yourself in Metal Gear Solid 4 work perfectly. In a direct comparison with the DualShock 3, it does feel like it requires ever so slightly more force to trigger actions, but not something I am presently concerned about. Besides native PS3 game compatibility, the Bluetooth Defender has also worked perfectly for playing PS1 titles through discs and PS1 classics installed on the system. PS2 classics downloaded through the PlayStation Store also have no issues. Back-compat systems should also have no trouble with PS2 gaming, unlike other third-party offerings being unable to control them. Now, about that PS4 compatibility, it is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Yeah. Any game that doesn't rely on the touchpad should be perfectly suited for the Bluetooth Defender. The touchpad's click button is mapped to the controller, so games that used it as a glorified select button are included. But as with PS3, performance is top tier, and the controller lends itself well to being a main, even with the aforementioned lack of a touchpad. Now, just a few extras to note. The Bluetooth Defender is now able to power on either PS3 or 4 systems that it has been paired with, unlike the 2.4 GHz versions. Battery life has lasted me about 12 hours before needing to be charged, and charging time lasts about 2.5 hours. If plugged into a wall outlet or system, the controller can still be used while charging, reducing downtime during longer gaming sessions. And finally, the select button functions as a PS4 share button for easy clipping of game highlights. I am unfortunately unable to provide any information on if the controller is compatible with PS5 systems for PS4 gaming, as I still do not currently have one. As for PC gaming, the Bluetooth Defender supports X input modes of operation and can also be detected as a PS3 or 4 controller. While X input will likely be the standard mode of operation for typical PC play, because of its overall compatibility, I am curious to see if the community can come up with some fun ways to get the controller to register perfectly in PS2 and 3 emulation, with full pressure sensitivity and gyro support. Unfortunately, this one isn't supported by Windows 98 out of the gate, but it does work under Windows XP just fine. And look at how well those triggers respond. Now let's discuss the things that really need to see improvement with the Bluetooth Defender. No, I really have nothing to critique about this one. It has been a perfect DualShock 3 replacement. Its packaging, on the other hand, I do wish again that it felt a bit more distinct compared to the earlier Defender releases, but hardly a real issue. For anyone looking to get a new PS3 controller, the Bluetooth Defender is a perfect option for almost any use case. Every feature of the DualShock 3 is present with pressure sensitivity, rumble, and Sixaxis. With additional compatibility for PS4 systems, the Bluetooth Defender can easily pull double duty for anyone hoping to consolidate on controllers. PC support also remains strong with both wired and wireless modes of operation. No matter your system choice, the Bluetooth Defender won't let you down. So there are my quick thoughts on the RetroFighters Bluetooth Defender. Just an overall wonderful input device for your PS3 systems. Works on everything that I've put it up against, though to be honest, I don't have the biggest PS3 game collection, about 25, 30-ish games, but everything worked. Motion controls worked. Rumble works really well. Triggers, just everything about it really works well. Pressure sensitivity, like, no complaints from me on this controller. Everything has just been fantastic. And the added bonus of it working on PS4 is just, again, a nice added bonus. So, not quite as universal on PS4 since it doesn't have a touchpad, but still, any game that doesn't need it will work really well with this thing. So, just, again, finally, a third-party option for PS3 systems that could just play everything on the system. And you don't have to worry about getting, like, knockoff DualShock 3s or something. So, really excited about this controller if you can't tell. Think it is just a great addition to the currently available 2.4 gigahertz Defenders. I mean, they're both currently available now, but just great pair up. This for PS1 and 2, this for PS3. Ugh, love it. Anyway, I'm rambling, so let's just go ahead and call this video here. Thank you again to RetroFighters for sending the Defender out my way to check out. Thank you all for watching today's video. And yeah, just really appreciate you all. So, couple big favors here at the end. Be sure to hit that like, dislike button, depending on how much you like this video. Please share this video as well if you found it anywhere near informative or enjoyable. And then sub button, notification bell, join button, Patreon, if you want to support the place. We are really appreciative of anyone that even spends a minute of time here, and especially for our champs that back the channel over on Patreon and on YouTube. So, thank you all again so very much, but we're going to call it here. So, until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming, we'll see you back next video.